What do you think the left is doing wrong? Because like you have what essentially is a bunch of rural working class people who are probably for the most part very poor, who are coming out in droves to support a guy who's has a apartment on the first floor of a Manhattan penthouse that's literally plated in gold and probably in a gold toilet. So how the is this guy able to become the working class hero, and the left is unable to get any of these people's votes? Like what is the left failing so desperately at?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts about that. One of them is that I think that a lot of Trump's, like a lot of, for instance, the counter protesters with guns that we're talking about, these people are not the like poor working class. Like weapons are expensive. Like you don't form a militia like on a
Apparently Rittenhouse used his stimulus check to buy the weapon.
So this was a socialized weapons purchase.
Yeah,
It's fabulous.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that that's a real puzzle though, isn't it though? Like why do like white people who are not like upper class at all, why do they see this like Vegas like esque like walking like gold toilet of a man? Like why do they see him as like some kind of working class?
He doesn't care about them. He doesn't know anything about them. He wouldn't hang out with them. It's like the dude spends all of his time on these ultra luxury golf courses. Like the dude wouldn't fucking ever golf with you. He doesn't care about you. He never wants to hang out with you. He fucking never. He's never known anybody like you. Like he's literally a big town, ultra rich dude. Like
right, the height of like New York elitist, like rich father. Like Well, I think that these people know that. Like I think they're not dumb. Like they know that Trump doesn't represent them, and that Trump doesn't really that Trump on some level doesn't really care about them. But I think that for some of them anyway, what it seems to be is it's almost like trolling. They like Trump because he pisses off the big media liberal types who don't represent them, and he pisses off what they see as the establishment, right?
I mean, I think that's true of some people on Twitter, right? But like, I'm talking about like rural people that don't use Twitter. They just like if you drive through, cross country, all these states in the middle that are red is just Trump, Trump, Trump signs, MAGA everywhere. These people don't go on Twitter, like, but they love Trump, and it's not about Trump. They're not trying to make libs cry. They just love Trump.
Well, I think there is like still, even with like the West, Pennsylvania type people, like there is still this sense. I mean, this is like an old kind of like historic resentment in the U.S. Like along the East Coast, I know like the western part of all these states, the Carolinas, Virginia, Pennsylvania, like there's this like longstanding resentment of the East, right? All these states have capitals along the East, and the East is seen as cosmopolitan, as urban, as elitist, and as kind of almost like an oppressor, right, of their way of life. It doesn't represent them. And so I think it's kind of an enemy of my enemy situation where they know that Trump isn't one of them, but they do, like, even if you're not on Twitter, like Trump pisses off the people on CNN, for example, and they like that, right? They kind of like that he's like a middle finger to like political correctness and to, this is how they see it, of course, right? Is he actually, I don't know, but I feel like
it's so odd to me because like the Democratic platform is a platform that would directly help them. The Republican platform is a platform that would directly helps wealthier people. So it's like everybody's voting against their own interests somehow.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a very dark mindset that leads these people to vote for Trump. Like, I think on some level they're not expecting things to get better. And it's almost a kind of nihilism that's set in. It's like, well, at least we're gonna like, let's just burn it down. Almost, I think some people have that kind of attitude where, I think they think, oh, maybe the Democrats will help them with like healthcare and things, but they know the Democrats aren't going to bring back like coal jobs or manufacturing jobs. And there's this sense, I guess, of like loss of like pride and loss of dignity, loss of like obviously like financial standing as well. not wanting just like what they see as like sympathy handouts, socialism, but wanting like, I don't know, this like America first rhetoric, I guess, appeals to them. People want to feel like the winner. People want to, I guess a lot of these people will attribute like sending jobs to China, for instance, for like taking away the industries that used to thrive where they live. I mean, and to some extent that's true, but a lot of it's also automation. So it's not just that. But I think that, Trump's, China rhetoric kind of connects about that in that way. But, you'd think 4 years later when manufacturing has not in fact returned and like you would think that they would start to get disillusioned with Trump. So I don't know. It is kind of, I mean, someone really should do. I'm sure there's people who do this. I should seek this out. People who do like interviews, go across the country and ask Trump supporters, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, ask All Gas No Brakes is kind of doing a pretty good job of that.
All gas, no brakes.
Hey, he's the one who told me, like, dude, he told me before the election, like, Trump is definitely going to win because I travel all around the country and everybody's maggot out. So he was pretty confident that Trump was going to win. But apparently he's got something coming out that should be really good. That's pretty much exactly what you just said. But